Christmas University Challenge. Asking the questions, Jeremy Paxman.
Hello, it's almost time to bid farewell to that ridiculous pudding down there. Out of 14 teams of distinguished alumni who gamely offered to give up their time and fight for the honour of their institution, only the top 2 remain to play in this, the final. The prize for tonight's winning team is nothing more than the right to call themselves series champions and then to head to the green room to work out the best way to cut a mince pie into 4. Now, the team from Wadham College, Oxford, beat Birmingham City University by 160 points to 75 in their first match, and then Trinity Hall, Cambridge, by 215 points to 25. We're going to meet them again. First, a columnist who also writes thrillers, with him a specialist in diseases of the brain. Their captain is a leading political journalist and frequent television and radio broadcaster, and their 4th player's first career was spent in television news. Let's meet the Wadham team.
Hello, I'm Jonathan Friedland. I studied philosophy, politics and economics in the late 1980s. I'm now a columnist for The Guardian and I write thrillers under the name Sam Bourne.
Hello, I'm Professor Tom Solomon. I graduated with a medical degree in 1990. I'm now Professor of Neurology at the University of Liverpool and Walton Neurocentre in Liverpool, and I'm the President of the Encephalitis Society.
This is their captain.
I'm Anne McElvoy. I read German and philosophy at Wadham in the late 80s. I've had a career as a foreign correspondent, a columnist. I've written about the old East Germany, starting with the fall of the Berlin Wall. These days, I'm senior editor at The Economist and I run our podcasts.
Hello, I'm Roger Mosey. I studied modern history and modern languages at Wadham in the late 1970s. I'm now Master of Selwyn College, Cambridge.
Now, the team from Leeds University scored 205 in both their previous matches. First against the 55 points of Clare College, Cambridge, and then the 45 points scored by University College, London. We're meeting again an expert on China and Japan, a writer interested in dinosaurs and evolution. Their captain is a clergyman, formerly a recording artist, and their 4th player is an award-winning photographer. Let's meet the Leeds team.
I'm Jonathan Clements. I graduated in 1994 in Japanese with East Asian Studies, and in the world of anime voice acting, I've played a mad professor and the most powerful sorcerer on the battleship Uranus.
Hello, I'm Henry G. I graduated in 1984 with a degree in zoology and genetics. I'm a recovering paleontologist and a senior editor of the science journal Nature.
Their captain?
Hello, I'm Richard Coles. I'm Vicar of Findon. About 15 years ago, I completed a thesis on New Testament Greek at the University of Leeds, and I'm often mistaken for that bloke in the House Martins, but I'm actually that bloke in the Communards.
Hello, I'm Timothy Allen. I was at Leeds University in the late 1980s studying zoology, and my claim to fame may well be that I am the first contestant ever in the history of University Challenge to get to the final without actually getting a question correct.
It is an achievement of sorts. Right, 10 points for starters, 15 for bonuses, and fingers on buzzers, here's your first starter for 10. In Germany and other countries, what date in December is also known by the name of the Saint Pope Sylvester, who, according to tradition, converted and baptised Constantine the Great?
Wadham Friedland.
December the 31st.
Correct, yes. You're going to get a set of bonuses now, Wadham. They're on pieces of classical music that premiered on New Year's Day. Which composer's string quartet in F major premiered in Boston on New Year's Day, 1894? Nicknamed the American Quartet, it was written during his 3-year residence in the United States, shortly after his 9th symphony.
I was going to say Dvorak. Dvorak is in America.
Dvorak.
Dvorak is correct. Which composer's only violin concerto premiered in Leipzig on New Year's Day, 1879? It was dedicated to the Hungarian virtuoso József Joachim, who named it one of the 4 great German violin concerti.
What do you think? I'm thinking
Brahms.
Is it later for Brahms?
Give it a go.
Brahms?
It was Brahms, yes. And finally, which composer's piano concerto in A minor premiered in Leipzig on New Year's Day 1846 with his wife Clara as the soloist?
Schumann.
Schumann is correct, yes. 10 points for this. Developed around 1972 by the British chemist James E. Lovelock and the US biologist Lynn Margulis.
Leeds G.
The Gaia hypothesis.
The Gaia hypothesis is correct. These bonuses are on philosophical statements. Entities are not to be multiplied beyond necessity. Those words summarise a philosophical razor named after which English theologian active in the early 14th century?
William of Ockham.
Correct. Stating that no two distinct things exactly resemble one another, which German thinker formulated the identity of indiscernibles in his 1686 work, Discourse on Metaphysics?
Leibniz.
Leibniz is correct. What can be asserted without evidence can also be dismissed without evidence. Those words appear in a work by which leading proponent of atheism who died in 2011?
Daniel Dennett.
No, it's Christopher Hitchens. 10 points for this. The Popes Clement VII and Paul III both issued bulls of excommunication against which English monarch? The first of these...
Leeds Coles.
Henry VIII.
Henry VIII is correct, yes. Your bonuses are on literary titles, Leeds. Your answer in each case is a three-word title meaning a flower of a particular colour or shade. Firstly, what title did Alexander Dumas père give to his novel of 1850? Set in the 17th century, it concerns a competition to create the eponymous flower.
The Black Tulip.
Correct. What was the three-word title of the novel first published anonymously in 1894, in which Oscar Wilde was lampooned in the character of Esme Araminth? The title refers to a form of adornment associated with Wilde.
The Yellow Curlers.
No, it's the Green Carnation. And finally, what title did Raymond Chandler give to his first original screenplay, referring to a fictional nightclub on Hollywood's Sunset Strip? The film version starred Alan Ladd and Veronica Lake.
Was it the Black Magnolia?
No, it's the Blue Dahlia. So we're going to take a picture round now. For your picture starter, you're going to see a representation of Mendeleev's first version of the periodic table from 1869. The values give atomic weight rather than number, and the question marks are Mendeleev's own. Some of the elements known to Mendeleev have been removed, and for 10 points, I want you to name the metallic element that should appear in the green spot.
Leeds G.
Lithium.
Lithium is correct, yes. Well worked out. We follow on from lithium for your picture bonuses with three other elements that have been removed from this representation of Mendeleev's table. First, the non-metallic element that should be in the orange position.
Chlorine. It's chlorine.
Chlorine.
Chlorine is correct. Secondly, the ferromagnetic element in the blue position.
I think that's nickel.
Yeah. Nickel.
It is nickel. And finally, the metallic element in the pink position.
Radium.
Radium.
No, it's lead, which he believed was the heaviest element known. So 10 points for this starter question. Born 1908, which French director and actor is associated with comic films portraying people in conflict with the mechanised world, notably through the experiences of...
Leeds Coles.
Jacques Tati.
Jacques Tati is correct. Your bonuses are on scientific units. What metric unit is very nearly equal to the mass of 1 cubic centimetre of water at a temperature of 4 degrees Celsius?
It's a milliliter. That's a unit of mass. It's a gram.
A gram.
It is a gram, but if next time, answer directly through your captain, OK? Gram is correct. What unit is the mean distance from the Earth to the Sun? That is a little less than 150 million kilometres.
It's the astronomical unit.
The astronomical unit.
That's correct. What unit is the force needed to accelerate a mass of 1 kilogram at 1 metre per second per second?
1 Newton.
1 Newton.
Correct. 10 points for this. According to a 2019 obituary, which Berlin-born musician enjoyed one of the greatest classical music lives since Berlioz...
Leeds, Alan.
Oh, I was going to say Andre Previn, but I'm wrong.
Well, you can say what you like.
Andre Previn.
Andre Previn is correct, yes. You've got one right. Your bonuses are on works in the Hermitage Museum in St. Petersburg. Thought to date to about 1530 and intended for a church in Florence, Crouching Boy is a sculpture by which Renaissance artist?
Michelangelo.
Correct. Concerning the golden age of humanity, Nymph and Satyr is a painting of around 1908 by which French artist? At that time, he was leader of the Fauvism movement.
Oh, God, Fauvism. Was it Matisse at that time? Sure. Was it Picasso? They've got a lot of Picassos in the Hermitage. Yeah, Picasso.
Picasso?
No, it was Matisse. Thirdly, which sculpture by Antonio Canova portrays Euphrosyne, Aglia and Thalia? There is a later version by the same artist in the V&A in London.
The Three Graces.
Correct. 10 points for this. Sometimes called a water bear or moss piglet, which animal has a name...
Leeds, G.
Tardigrade.
Tardigrade is correct. Your bonuses are on the Vatican's list of important films about religion. In each case, name the film from the description. Firstly, a Russian film of 1969 by Andrei Tarkovsky about a 15th century monk and religious artist.
Rublev.
Yes, Andrei Rublev. Secondly, a Danish film of 1955 by Carl Theodor Dreyer about miracles. Its 5-letter title means the word in English.
Audette.
Correct. And finally, a 1928 French film, also by Dreyer, based on the trial of a 15th century martyr. I need the full title, either in English or French.
Jeanne d'Arc.
The full title.
La martyrdom de Jeanne d'Arc.
No, it's La Passion de Jeanne d'Arc. Bad luck. You don't get the points. 10 points for this. When Hitler stole Pink Rabbit...
Wadham, Friedland.
Judith Kerr.
Judith Kerr is correct, yes. Your bonuses are on the novels of E.M. Forster. In each case, give the forename and surname of the character from the description. Firstly, a culturally aspiring clerk in Howard's End. His name may be expressed as Hofstadter in the Big Bang Theory, followed by the short name of the Egyptian deity, often depicted as a cat or lioness.
It's Herbert, the first name. Little man. Albert or Herbert?
Herbert.
No, it's Leonard Bast. Secondly, the spirited niece of the rector in A Room with a View, with minor spelling variations, her name may be expressed as Economy Car, designed by Alec Isigonis, followed by the nickname of a national broadcaster.
Minnie is the car. Minnie is the car.
What was the other name?
That's all right. I can't remember.
What was the second half of that?
Minnie's the car.
Minnie. What's the question?
The question is a person in an Ian Forster novel. So it's a character in an Ian Forster novel.
I don't know. I didn't remember the second half of the question.
Minnie.
No, it's Minnie Beebe. I needed the whole thing. A lover of the title character in Morris. His name may be expressed as the victor of the Battle of Plassey, followed by the oldest university between the Tweed and the Trent.
Sir Henry Durham.
Henry Durham.
No, it's Clive Durham. Right, we're going to take a music round now. For your music starter, you'll hear an excerpt from a ballet. For 10 points, please identify the composer.
Wadham Mosey.
Tchaikovsky?
It is Tchaikovsky, yes. Well done. That was the Waltz of the Snowflakes from Tchaikovsky's The Nutcracker. It was in the role of a snowflake in that ballet that the Royal Ballet's prima ballerina Margot Fonteyn made her debut. 2019 saw her centenary. So you're going to hear excerpts from 3 notable ballets in which she danced. In each case, I want the title of the ballet, please. Firstly, Fonteyn danced in the world premiere of Frederick Ashton's choreography of this ballet.
The Nutcracker.
No, that's Delibes Sylvia. Secondly, Fonteyn's celebrated partnership with Rudolf Nureyev began with a performance of this ballet.
Romeo and Juliet.
No, that's Giselle. And finally, Nureyev and Fonteyn danced in the world premiere of Kenneth Macmillan's choreography of this ballet based on a work of English literature.
Romeo and Juliet.
That is Romeo and Juliet. Well done. 10 points for this. Answer promptly, naming both the music group and the controversial novel referred to in Philip Larkin's poem Annus Mirabilis.
Leeds Coles.
Lady Chatterley and the Beatles.
Yes, Lady Chatterley's lover. Yes, you've got it. Well done. Your bonuses are on practices inscribed on the UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage List. In each case, identify the Western European country to which the following extracts apply. Firstly, on the Tuesday of Pentecost, the hopping procession, founded on the cult of St. Willibrord, takes place in the medieval centre of Echternach, the oldest city in this country.
Germany.
No, it's Luxembourg. Secondly, fado songs are usually performed by a solo singer, traditionally accompanied by a wire-strung acoustic guitar.
That's Portugal.
Correct. Making and appreciating beer is part of the living heritage of a range of communities. Almost 1,500 types of beer are produced using different fermentation methods.
Yeah. Belgium.
Belgium is correct. 10 points for this. What nationality was Elizabeth Bathory, the countess who purportedly murdered hundreds of young women in the 16th and 17th centuries?
Leeds Clements.
Hungarian.
Hungarian is correct, yes. Right, these bonuses are on pairs of words that differ only by the presence of the letter H after the first letter. For example, sack and shack, in each case, give both words from the definitions. Firstly, a hard, stony substance secreted by certain marine invertebrates and a byname of Beethoven's Ninth Symphony.
Coral and coral.
Coral and coral.
Correct. Secondly, the convex surface of a road and an enclosed space or cavity in the body of an animal or plant, for example, in the heart.
Camber and chamber.
Correct. And finally, a syrupy liqueur made from black currants and the base frame of a wheeled vehicle.
Cassis and chassis.
Correct. 10 points for this. What short given name or byname links all of the following Americans? Firstly, an outlaw killed in Missouri in 1882. Secondly, a civil rights leader and politician born in 1940.
Wadham Friedland.
Jesse.
Jesse is correct, yes. Your bonuses, Wadham, you can still catch up, are on trees. Appearing in the scientific names of the Italian cypress and the coast redwood, what is the sense of the Latin word sempervirens?
Evergreen.
Correct. With a scientific name meaning false hemlock, what common name derives from that of a Scottish botanist and denotes the fir tree he introduced to Scone Palace in 1827?
Move on. No, don't know.
It's Douglas. And finally, the black peppermint and the Tasmanian blue gum are species of which broadleaf tree? It yields an aromatic oil used in inhalants and expectorants.
Eucalyptus.
Correct. 10 points for this. From 1975 to 2002, the communist MPLA and the anti-communist UNITA...
Wadham McElvoy.
Angola.
Angola is correct. Your bonuses are on scientists and World War II. In each case, give the surname of the person from the description. All three begin with the same letter. Firstly, a Coventry-born RAF engineering officer who pioneered jet propulsion from the late 1920s.
Cockerel.
No, it was Sir Frank Whittle. And secondly, a Scottish physicist. His team developed the series of radar stations codenamed Chain Home that contributed to victory in the Battle of Britain.
No, we don't know.
That was Robert Watson Watt. And finally, a military engineer who invented the bouncing bomb used by the dam busters in 1943.
Barnes Wallis.
Correct. We're going to take another picture round now. For your picture starter, you're going to see a painting. For 10 points, simply name the artist.
Leeds Coles.
Caravaggio.
Caravaggio is correct, yes. That was Caravaggio's Sick Bacchus. For your picture bonuses, you're going to see 3 more paintings depicting the effects of overindulgence. I just need the name of the artist in each case. Firstly, this work of 1894.
Edvard Munch.
It is Edvard Munch, the day after. Secondly, a work of around 1620.
Yeah, OK.
Rubens.
No, that's Van Dyck. And finally, a work of 1743.
Hogarth.
It is Hogarth, yes. 10 points for this. In mathematics, Guthrie's problem is an alternative name for what theorem relating to the maximum number of colours required to distinguish adjacent...
Leeds G.
The 4-colour problem.
Correct. Your bonuses are on countries similar in size to Scotland. In each case, identify the country from the description. Firstly, the present-day country that contains the birthplaces of Milos Forman and Franz Kafka.
The Czech Republic.
Correct. A country on the Black Sea, secondly. Its official language belongs to the Kartvelian or South Caucasian family.
Georgia.
Correct. And finally, a country that seceded from Colombia in 1903 following a revolution aided by the USA.
Must be the Ecuador from Colombia. Oh, wasn't that Panama? Yeah.
Come on.
Panama.
Panama is correct. 10 points for this. 3 minutes to go. What 5-letter name is shared by several British rivers, including those that flow through Kidderminster,
Leeds Coles.
Ouse.
No. You lose 5 points. Kidderminster, Blandford Forum, Canterbury and Dedham in Essex. The last of these made famous by the painter John Constable.
Wadham Mosey.
Stour.
Stour is correct, yes. Your bonuses, you're going to have to be quick, are on a 19th century poem. They bring me sorrow touched with joy, the merry, merry bells of Yule. These are lines from In Memoriam, A.H.H., a work of 1850 by which English poet?
Tennyson.
Correct. What was the surname of Arthur Henry, whose death is the subject of In Memoriam? The name in question appears in that of a parliamentary constituency formerly represented by Nick Clegg.
Hallam.
Hallam is correct. In Canto 56 of In Memoriam, Tennyson describes nature as red in what?
Tooth and claw.
Tooth and claw is correct. 10 points for this. The geological term orogenesis derives from the Greek for what geographical formation?
Leeds G.
Mountains.
Mountains is correct. Your bonuses, Leeds, are on Latin legal terms. In each case, give the 2-word term from the description. Firstly, a right or ability to bring a legal action to court or to appear in a court, from the Latin for place of standing. Let's have it, please.
Habeas corpus.
No, that's completely different. That's locus standi. An act or situation that provokes or justifies a war.
Casus belli.
Correct. With no appointed date for resumption, the Latin for without a day.
Sine die.
Sine die.
Correct. 10 points for this. The Brazilian composer and singer Caetano Veloso made a noted appearance as himself in which 2002 film by Pedro Almodovar? The film concerns two men both caring for women in comas.
Wadham Friedland.
Hable Cornella.
Correct. Your bonuses are on cinema and the alphabet. Which Austrian directed the 1931 film M, set in Berlin and concerning the hunt for a murderer of children, played by Peter Lorre?
Billy Wilder.
No, it was Fritz Lang. Who directed the 1963 film X, subtitled The Man with the X-Ray Eyes? He's often known as the Pope of pop cinema.
Roger Corman.
Correct. Z, released in 1969, is a political thriller closely based on contemporaneous events in which country?
Greece.
Correct. 10 points for this. Ralph Vaughan Williams' songs Lyndon Lee and The Winter Willow were adapted from poems by which 19th century writer and churchman whose collections include the poems of rural life in the Dorset dialect?
Leeds Coles.
Barnes.
Barnes is correct, yes. You get 3 bonuses on solitude. Whosoever is delighted in solitude is either a wild beast or a god, quoting Aristotle, who wrote this in the 1625 essay Of Friendship.
Montaigne.
No, that was Bacon. I had 3 chairs in my house, 1 for solitude, 2 for friendship, 3 for society. Which US author wrote those words in the work of And at the Gong? Wadham College, Oxford have 130, Leeds University have 235 though. So congratulations to you, Leeds, you are the champions. It was a very good game, you did brilliantly. It only remains for me to thank all the teams who've taken part in this series and to thank you for watching. Next time we resume with the students' competition, but until then, it's goodbye from Leeds University.
Bye.
Bye.
It's goodbye from Wadham College, Oxford.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.